Have your attention here in the Media Center. We are now joined by our race-winning team for the 9th running of the Active Pest Control 200 in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Joined by race-winning driver Christopher Bell, driver of the number 4 JBL Toyota. For Kyle Busch Motorsports, we have crew chief Rudy Fugel and team owner Kyle Busch. Christopher, boy, after the way you finished this race last year, this has to feel, it's good to get in a victory lane, but to have that kind of redemption coming through. Talk about the thoughts going through your mind right now that you have this win under your belt here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Well, this was definitely a race I had circled ever since we left here last February, but to be able to be so good here last year and then to come back and be as dominant as what we were was really cool for me. And it was just kind of a dream weekend ever since we unloaded. We were really, really fast right off the truck, and everything we did to it just made it better and better and better throughout practice. As soon as they dropped the green in the race, it was just really, really good. And then kind of got shuffled there on the restart and got stalled out back there in 5th or 6th. But whenever we were able to restart back on the bottom, we were able to get right back up there.
Rudy, how confident were you and your driver on that final restart that he was going to be able to hold him off?
Yeah, no, I was definitely, he'd shown that he knew what to do all day long, just as long as he was in the right lane. It was the top lane is treacherous, so he got a little scared there. We got stuck back in traffic that we weren't going to get the enough laps on our tires or get the right restart lane, but it all worked out, so he did a great job.
And Kyle, you've had a great talent of spotting talent, and Christopher is no exception. Talk about the talent he's really bringing to the table and what is really making him a success in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just is a true testament to everybody at KBM that does such a great job building fast trucks. I think that's the first opportunity you got to give these younger drivers, and then from there they have to have the know-with-all to be able to go out there and succeed in that equipment. And we saw it last year. Christopher's now won 3 years in a row in the Truck Series, which is really cool. And, we saw it last year with William being successful and being able to move on. Christopher now kind of taking the reins of KBM and being the elder statesman here and the experienced guy and being able to kind of be our lead dog for the championship. So certainly it's been really fun to watch him and to see him progress from last year into this year and to see the calmness and everything, even how crazy Daytona was, to see how he came out of that, and then to come here and have the focus to just go out there and be fast right off the truck and do all the right things in the race. There was never going to be a chance I was going to catch him, so it certainly looked good from my vantage point to watch a KBM truck out in front of me while I was running second.
Okay, we're going to open up the floor for questions. If you have a question, we'll get a wireless microphone to you. We'll start with our left with Jacob.
Jacob Seelman, Performance Motorsports Network. I'll start with you, Chris. As far as your day goes, I mean, you said it, this was about as perfect as you could ask for. What was different about this truck compared to the truck that you almost won with a year ago? Because that truck was good, but this truck, it seemed like you went home, worked on it, and came back with a playbook that was even better than you had last year.
Well, I guess the biggest thing was the right front stayed together this time. But I was really good last year, and I feel like I was even better this year. So I guess a year of experience helps. I feel like making the switch to Rudy was really helpful as well. So to be able to come here back-to-back years and run really well, it definitely puts this track up there on my favorites list.
And Kyle, Matt was talking about you've had this penchant for spotting talent. You did it with Eric, you did it with Christopher, but last year going into the season, I don't think any of us necessarily had him as the KBM driver to make it to the Final Four. Obviously, circumstances took Byron kind of out of play there, but he grew so much over the year. What have you seen in him kind of blossom over the course of this that's turned him into really one of the elite drivers in this series now?
Christopher? Right?
Yeah.
We're still working on it. We're still trying to get the sprint car out of him.
I don't know if that'll ever happen.
That's the biggest thing. This kid grows up racing 30-lap features here or there or wherever, and after 30 laps, the right rear's gone. So that's been our problem, is after 30 laps, the tires are gone, So we've gotten a little Days of Thunder mentality going on here with him that we've just had to work on over the course of the last year, and he learned a lot. I feel like second half of last year, for sure, of being able to just get into the rhythm of these races and run these races as they come to him, and allowing the competition and our equipment to be able to get him up front. You know, there's a lot of different guys that you got to race different ways. I think he's learned that a lot as well too. You know, Crafton's one of the best. Obviously, he was able to outrun him today. He outran me through much of the day as well. So certainly he knows how to get it done when it comes down to being able to make fast lap time and being able to do it for a long time. Here at Atlanta is one of the hardest places to do it for a long run, and man, he could do it for the whole time. So it was really impressive to watch.
We're going to go next to my left to Kyle, then to Bob, and then to Mr. Ridgway here, and then to Jeff.
Kyle Magda, the RacingExperts.com. This one's for Kyle. Was there any indication of the tire going down on that one restart?
No, I certainly would have wished that there was. You know, I was scrubbing my tires and everything felt normal. You know, I did kind of feel as though it was a little lazier than it had been in the past, but I was on the outside again, and I thought I was just running through a bunch of debris and the rubber that was down and picking it up on my tires. So I didn't think anything of it. But you know, got down into turn one and there was no air in the tire. So that seems to happen to me a lot.
Did you feel any gratification when you when Chris spun the tires on that one restart, and then earlier in the Xfinity race when Byron did the same thing at the start?
Man, the outside, like Rudy said, it's just treacherous. It's just really bad on the outside. I don't know why or what's going on with that. It's just weird that the inside could have such good bite and the outside doesn't. You know, I was on the outside a few times today and I was horrible. You know, I'd spin my tires past the start-finish line if I could. You know, I just could never get them to catch back up. And by the time you think you're right about the point where your tires are going to catch back up at the speed that you have, somebody pounds you from behind and then they're spinning again, you know. So it just seems like it would really never end for me. But I had maybe one good restart on the outside. I was on the outside of Christopher for a restart, and I maintained with him better than I had. I only fell to third instead of like sixth or seventh. So you know, that was about the best one that I had all day on the outside.
Go next to Bob.
All right, I got two. First for Christopher, how important you feel like it was for you to get a win early this season?
So I definitely think it's really important, especially after looking back at last year. I was able to start off at Daytona really fast and took the white flag in position to win the race, and then to come here and lead the race with 7 to go, and then have 2 DNFs back to back. Went to Martinsville and struggled there, and in the meantime the 9 group was kind of hitting their stride at that point, and you could totally see the momentum change throughout the course of the season. So starting off with good momentum and good results is huge for us, and being able to be locked into the chase is great as well.
And for Kyle, I assume you heard your Xfinity car was too low in the front.
Oh, fantastic. No, thanks. Appreciate that, Bob.
Sorry.
The bearer of bad news. Always.
So I guess then you would know.
What else?
I was curious if you felt like did anything break or any reason why it might have been too low, and then is that car running for the Owners' Championship, so would you guys be able to overcome any penalty associated with it?
Well, maybe they should have checked the air pressure in the front tires first. Maybe that's why it was low. I don't know. I didn't feel anything happen or anything over the course of the day. I don't remember what kind of adjustments we were making. I know we were going track bar down and wedge out, so that should have actually kind of lifted the front a little bit maybe, but I don't know how low it was or anything like that. I haven't heard anything. So I don't even know what the penalty is now. Shit changes so fast. Cool. Yeah, it's supposed to be going the whole season, so I guess I'll have to figure out who I'm working with next week. 10-4.
Coming up front now.
Rudy, you available?
This is for Christopher, Todd Ridgway at Ariella Racing News. Christopher, you got 4 weeks till Martinsville, and then 4 weeks after that before you really start the stride of the season with your truck. What's your plans for the weeks in between?
Go race. So I've got a couple midget races scheduled in March, and then after Martinsville, I think I'm going to try and do a couple sprint car races. Yeah, we're going to do the USAC midget race at DuQuoin, Illinois, and then Power Eye midgets at Oklahoma City the following weekend.
We're going to go next to Jeff and then over to Chris.
Jeff Gluck from jeffgluck.com. This is for Kyle. You mentioned a couple times in your post-race interview about wanting to go 10 for 10 this year. I know, people said, oh, it's a Kyle Busch rule when it happened last year, but am I wrong in picking up that you're taking it a little bit personally this year and that you have an extra chip on your shoulder to go win every one of the races that you're in?
I mean, certainly we want to win every single one of them that we're in. I wouldn't say there's an extra chip on my shoulder about it. It's just that I didn't even expect for us to win today. It looked like there for a while it was going to be Harvick, and then it looked like there without the last couple cautions that came out, it was going to be Larson. And then it kind of got into our hands there at the end, coming off pit road first, and then the truck race today again, it kind of started to fall into my hands when Christopher got shuffled back a little bit there. And then if the race would have went green to the end, we probably would have been in victory lane. But we had an opportunity to come back down and put tires on it and restart again. And we lost our track position, but it didn't even matter that we lost our track position because we didn't have air in our tires. So, we had a flat and just had to mosey on home. So I'm just out there to win anyone that I can get in anyways. So it's not necessarily to put added pressure on it, but it'd certainly be nice to do it just to kind of give an old thumbs up to everybody. Yeah, that's it. It's that one.
We go to your left to Chris.
Chris Knight, catchfans.com. Kyle, Darrell Waltrip tweeted moments after the race that he was impressed by what Christopher Bell has done this year, and after the Chili Bowl and everything that he's done, that he's realized he's the real deal. What does that say for the KBM team as a whole, that you guys continue to build these powerhouse drivers?
It means a lot. It certainly is a good footprint for us for this year. Like I said, he's our horse for the championship, we feel like. Noah's a young rookie coming in. He's obviously got to get back on track a little bit. Seems like they've kind of flip-flopped, if you will. Christopher's the wily veteran, ready to go. He's got that championship mindset, and Noah's kind of coming in where Christopher kind of was last year, a little down underneath the radar, if you will. So, with that said, obviously we do a good job of being able to scout talent and bring the talent up through and have them be successful. What that means for us is he won't be with us next year, so we'll have to find another one. So we'll start looking.
Noah's had two rough races right in a row. I mean, he's pretty hard on himself after that first lap spin, and I know Marcus was getting on him to calm down. What can you do to Noah to help him get through this? Because it seems like it's similar to what Christopher went through last year at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I got to go back and look at it and see exactly what happened and try to work through the different scenarios. I know he's not run very many big tracks, so he's not used to the air and how these trucks move around, buffer around. He said he got sucked around, so I don't know if he made it 3 wide or somebody made it 3 wide on him and how close they were to him. Maybe it was somebody not being very nice to him on lap 1 and sucked him around. I don't know. I got to go back and look at it. So just try to, like Marcus said, calm him down a little bit, get him back in the frame of mind of being able to go out there and be comfortable in his truck and attack, and having Christopher there to have somebody to lean on is going to be really good, because in our meeting we'll have Christopher talk about when he got back in traffic, what he felt and what things that he needed to do and focus on and look at in order to get himself back up towards the front. So we'll talk about all that.
Keep it to our left with Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net and Performance Racing Network. Kyle, a little bit like what Chris said a while ago about you finding young talent. Your brother was in here the other day and said you are the best talent scout out there for young drivers. What is it that you're looking for, and how do you go about finding these guys?
I don't know. It's luck. I didn't find him, to be truthful. Jim did, guy at Toyota. So, it's I would say that Eric Jones, obviously, I found him racing with him in the super late model ranks. I think there's some other talent that's in the super late model ranks that I've seen that I know that's in my head right now that I'd like to give an opportunity to. It's just nothing's really open at the current moment. So I'm not going to say those names either, because somebody will probably go get them. But we're working to the best of our ability to be able to get out there and to be able to bring in younger talent. We obviously have Noah and Myatt Snyder and Harrison Burton and Todd Gilliland who are with us this year. So if any of those guys kind of work out, Harrison, he's too young still, so he won't be able to run full-time next year. But I think Todd turns 18 next May, so there's opportunities there that we have that there's still guys available for us to be able to move up for next year.
Any additional questions for our race-winning team? Go back to Bob.
Kyle, I assume you saw where Vegas looks like they're going to get
Jesus,
a second
are you
date.
bringing more bad news?
No, is Las Vegas having a second Cup race bad news?
Well, that's the first. Well, no, I did hear about it because you tweeted it. So, okay. Is it bad news? It's not bad news.
Okay, that was my question. Is what would you think? The visitors board votes Wednesday on a sponsorship deal to have 2 Cup races at Vegas. So if there is a second Cup race at Vegas, what would you think?
I guess it would be cool. I tend to enjoy going out to Las Vegas. It's certainly fun, and I think a lot of people enjoy going to Las Vegas. I think that's a destination race for a lot of race fans, and maybe that's why that racetrack's looked really good from the grandstand view. That there's been a lot of people there the last 4 or 5 years, better than some other racetracks. So I guess I'd be curious to see how it lands on the schedule and where the race comes from, I guess. But past that, we'll wait and see.
Stanley, close
Yeah.
it off strong, buddy.
Stan Creekmore with Outside the Box. Christopher,
Fantastic.
does for the next couple of days, do you wipe your mind clean of being a truck driver to once again run the sprint cars, or do you actually learn something in the trucks that helps you in the sprint cars?
So I feel like after all the cars that I've driven, everything kind of works together. It takes, to be the ultimate race car driver, it takes a little bit from here, a little bit from there. So in order to go pavement racing, I feel like it took some wing sprint cars, non-wing sprint cars, midgets, to make the best pavement racer. And now whenever I go back dirt racing, take the Chili Bowl, for example. I've sat on the front row of the Chili Bowl 3 years now, and this was the first year I ever won the race, and I really feel like my year of NASCAR racing and pavement racing was able to make the difference in me winning the race, because I was able to run a smarter race and learn that you don't have to lead on lap 30, you don't have to lead on lap 40, you don't have to lead on lap 54, you just have to lead on the lap 55, the last one.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, congratulations on the victory tonight. Make sure you stop and get a donut on your way out, and